That's right. We are all spiffy and dandy today. Just got back from a tournament. And I had a long bus ride of thinking about shit. And you know what I want to think about? You cannot buff Penny. I don't think it's possible. Right? Because you either buff Penny and it does nothing, or you buff Penny and it makes her absolutely broken, especially in lower ranks. Now, see, the reason why you can't buff Penny is because of how her nest works. Fundamentally, the only way to change it so that way she's better is a rework, because this is how her nest works. Every 3 seconds, her nest spawns 2 spider drones, 2 little spider bots. Those spider bots each do 40 damage. There can be a max of 10 in a nest. So, if a Penny has 15 seconds to sit there and wait for her nest to do damage, it can one-shot any DPS or support, and do about half the tank's health, sometimes more than that, if all the spider bots hit it, because remember, they have to travel from the center of the nest, or wherever they're sitting right near the center, to them, can be blocked with any of the shields in the game, and if you put multiple people in the nest at the same time, it splits, so that 400 damage turns into 200 damage to 2 tanks really quickly, which is very easily out-healed. If I see someone place down a support ult, me and my friend will just jump in the nest at the same time, will not kill us, because again, 200 damage, it's not all at once, it's within about 1 second, it's super fast next to each other, but it's not all at once, it's not like one shot of 200 damage, it's 540 damage, little bots hitting you. And the only thing that helps this is that each bot slows you down, but they tend to target the same person, right? If I am in the middle of a team fight, and I place my nest as Penny, it is genuinely only to distract the enemy team. It will do negligible amounts of damage. It will not kill anyone. Or I'll place it down so it spawns drones while I'm using my ult, if I place it down mid-fight, or I'll place it next to my team or on myself so I can use it for a little bit of self-healing. But genuinely, the self-healing isn't very good. And let me tell you why her self-healing is shit, right? The self-healing was way less, I'm kind of exaggerating here, is less than what her overshields per second is. Well, she gets health over time and shields over time. How is that bad? Well, health over time isn't enough to negate any of the damage Penny will be taking without any sort of shield or damage reduction. She just kind of takes all the damage that you give to her right in the face, and there's nothing she can do about it, right? So, already bad, and the healing per second can't outdo that. Well, what about the shields per second? Only activates when you're at full health. So the first second of the match, you have a little bit of damage negation with your shields, and then as soon as those are gone, you're fucked. You are relying 100% on your supports to help you. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do to stop any incoming damage, which is why she is terrible into matchups against any poke character. Right? As a control tank, you want to control the area. And she really can't do that. The only time she can control an area is on an off angle, when you have to come to her. And with how bad a brawl is right now, you can't really do that, because they're just going to poke you from a distance, because poke is so strong. I think poke needs a nerf, yes, but if you buff Penny, she'll become so oppressive that now Penny's broken and brawl still can't be played. So you can't buff Penny because it will make the entire game go out of whack. I genuinely don't think you can buff Penny. When I'm thinking about the buffs we could give Penny, I think the only one that would make her not broken and not even more useless is the shields. The health over time is completely removed. Double the shields she gets per second from standing in her nest, and give it to her at all times. She's always generating shields. Yes, you still rely on a support to fill up your health bar, but now you're getting like 100 shields per second for standing in your nest. They actually have to do damage to you. But then again, is that too strong? That might be too strong. That might be more damage mitigation than a strange shield or a mag shield. It's insane. And then let's talk about the nest itself, the burst damage. It does so much burst damage, you're right. But Strange can jump in there and block half of it with his shield. Mag can jump in there and block half of it with his shield while blocking it with all the other damage, by the way. And even if Strange blocks half of it with his shield, that's only 200 health off his shield. His shield's 700 health. Might be 800. God, I play him too much to not know these numbers off the top of my head. But still, that's not like a lot of damage to his shield. You jump and you block it, and then you take 200 damage, and your supports, because healing is so strong in this game, just boost you back up to full nigh instantly. It's kind of bullshit to play against. Like, you don't really have to. And then the amount of characters, whenever I am in lower ranks, right, on my streaming account, you saw me play through from silver, and now I'm in plat. Once again, right now I am in GM. GM3, that's where I am. In the lower ranks, when I see a Penny, the only reason it's a problem is because nobody shoots the nest, and my supports, I can't rely on my supports to instantly boost me up when they see me jump in that nest and take 200 damage. I can't rely on it. But once that nest is gone, fuck, dude, Penny is not a threat. And she's extra not a threat because if she tries to throw her mines behind your team, you have enough forward pressure to most of them. Even when I played Penny in those ranks, when I play Penny in GM, I can't just throw mines to their backline or stuff. I have to wait till there's nobody there or nobody shooting at me. Penny is genuinely, as a control tank, like the main control tank in the game, where her entire kit is based off controlling an area, lacing with mines, making sure this is the no-no zone, don't step here. She can't do it. She can't place mines. Like, you're in a cloak and dagger ult, she cannot place mines down. Genuinely, she can't, because you have to place them down at your feet in webs, so that way they don't get hit. If you try to throw them back through the team, they get hit and they die midair. At least 2 out of 4 will die midair. And then, the cloak and dagger ult will break them before they hit the webs. But if you buff that so that way they can't be hit until they hit the ground, well then the mines will never get destroyed midair, they'll never get destroyed, and you'll just have free wins, especially in the lower ranks, where people aren't shooting the mines on the ground. They just walk through them and hope they get healed. I've seen it, and hell, I've done it. Back when I was not, like, I try to improve while I play this game, but back when I wasn't very good, and I still think I'm not very good, I'm just a casual player, like, I used to do that, and so I understand why people do it, because it's really not that big of a threat. But then, in the leaked patch notes, it was like, oh, we upped her mine damage to 110. That doesn't do anything. That genuinely does jack shit, because you still need 3 mines to take out any squishy, because that's only 330 damage. With that, sure, it does more damage to tanks, I guess. You can, instead of needing 8 mines to kill a Groot, you now need 8 mines to kill a Groot, because it's still, like, you still need 8 mines to kill a Groot. Because that's still only 880. 7 mines is 770. Like, I mean, I guess you can leave them with 30 health left if you do it, but you might as well just use 8 mines to kill the Groot. It's not worth it. It's not a worthwhile buff. But if you buff them to like 200, so you only need 2 mines to kill a support, and you only need 4 to kill a tank, then she's overpowered. Holy shit, you know how fast she can place stacks of 4 mines? Nobody can survive that. And then she can make sure that they're invulnerable, and she can just say, yeah, that corner right there, nobody can go near that corner, ever. Because they take an entire minute to despawn, and by that time, a fight has already happened and or won. If she lost, she's gonna set it up somewhere else. If she won, she can reset it up. Like, I'll do things where, like, before the fight starts, I know a set of mines that wasn't tripped is going to expire, and I will replace it. I will replace it because then they think it's not there anymore, they hit it and they die. Genuinely, as much as I love Penny, and I wish I was good enough, like, there was a point where I was good enough to play around my counters, and, like, I was good on Penny. I stopped playing Penny for a long time. I played Mag because I was like, oh, playing meta, Mag's the best thing I can play right now, and honestly, I think I should have never stopped playing Penny, and because I stopped playing most of the off tanks and the off characters that I was good at, off meta characters, in favor of playing meta slop, because I'm like, this is better to play. Play the characters you're good on. Even if they're not meta, you will contribute more. Because if you can't play Gambit, then playing Gambit is not going to help your team. Alright, but that's a completely different subject. You can't buff the mines unless you make them extremely overpowered. You can't really buff the nest, and here's why. Well, let's increase the damage of the nest. How so? Do you want to increase its burst damage? I mean, that's already what it specializes in. It's so good at that. I don't think we should. Well, the problem is that once you place it, it's kind of useless unless it has 15 seconds to charge up. So we make it do more consistent damage. Well, if it does tick damage, that's really broken, because tick damage plus the mines, that's not good. Well, let's increase the radius of it. That way it gives more of a no-no zone. Well, it still suffers from all the things that we talked about, where that burst damage can kind of just be negated through half the things in the game, or you could just play Punisher and shoot her dead. Okay, well, I can't do any of that. We'll increase the spawn rate of the spiders. I was brainstorming, I was like, okay, well, even if we half the damage of the spiders, and we make it to every half second. So 20 damage per spider, and it spawns one spider every half a second. That is 40 damage every second. And 40 damage every second. Sorry. To do 400 damage, it will take 10 seconds. It's 5 seconds faster. I think that's better, but that only helps with the applying slowdown, because her mines do, the spider bots do apply slowdown. That was a buff she got recently, and it makes her super annoying to play against. But the nest is no longer threatening unless it has 10 seconds to charge up, because you would want to cap it at 400 still. Any higher than that, and it's going to be broken. It's still not good, because if it doesn't have 10 seconds to charge up, sure, it's spawning a spider bot every half a second. You're getting a slowdown every half a second, but that's all it's good for. It's doing 20 damage. It's doing 20 damage every half second. That's 40 damage a second, which really isn't that much in a healing economy. Wherever it's going to be placed is not going to be touching the people who are most susceptible to that, unless, like I said again, you take an off angle. Penny is only good on an off angle, and all of these buffs that I've spitballed only help her in triple tank and on off angles, where she shines the most, even every half second, because you go in, you get hit with the full burst, and if you don't die from that, then it refreshes really fast and you're slowed down, and Penny can stun you, and she kills you on the off angle, and then she goes back to shooting from the off angle and placing mines in nooks and crannies where people want to step, right? That's where she specializes in, and without a full rework, there's no way to make Penny specialize in what Penny was clearly designed to do, which is lock down the point, either an off angle on Convoy and the convoy parts of Convergence, or domination, which is where Penny is supposed to shine, because it's on a point. She has infinite time to lock it down and set up. But there's genuinely not much you can do about it. I think maybe you could balance her with a team up, give her a team up that gives her some sort of something. I saw someone say, give her impact mines. It uses the same mine charge, but they can't be destroyed midair, and it's slower. You can't throw them as fast. It's slower, more burst damage, and it kind of pushes people around. But that's giving Penny a second super fast charging CC, because being moved is a CC. It's a crowd control. And it's giving her more burst damage on top of the already really good burst damage she has baked into her kit. She just has no neutral. Starting the fight, crazy. Ending the fight, but after that start of the fight, if they make any progress, they get into your nest or break your nest, fuck, your character's stupid. Your character's stupid, it's worthless, damn near no reason to play her outside of mashing stun on somebody. Mashing stun on backline divers, or mashing stun on a frontline, whether it's a Groot who doesn't have his wall up, or a Strange, every time he drops that shield, stun him. Like, that's pretty much your only purpose, because until your nest has 15 seconds to charge up, or you get an off angle to place mines behind people without them immediately exploding in the air, you're not going to do anything. So she's not good for what she's designed to do, and any buff you give her will not make her better at that. It will make her better at everything else in a way that will eventually get her to be broken, right? Because I think Rogue is really good right now, but one buff, it won't make her neutral any better. Sorry, it won't make her neutral so much better. It won't fix any of the problems she has, but it's just going to be just a little bit of a power creep. I think that is also a bad idea. I just wish there was a way that I could reasonably find to buff Penny without making her excel in the areas she already excels in, because that is boring, frankly. To like, what I'm trying to say that it's boring is if we buff Penny, she already excels in triple tank and at taking off angles and locking down like certain hallways, because she can't lock down the point, because as soon as you make any progress on it, you die. So she has to just say DPS can't enter here, right? And then do throw pillows from her machine cannons. And you can't even buff the damage of her primary fire, because then it's an infinite ammo, no reload, can create moderately good damage thing. Anybody with decent aim is just going to absolutely destroy on that character, especially once you start landing stuns. Stun 3 headshots, because it doesn't break as soon as you hit them, so you can just get 3 headshots for free minimum on a stun target, and you get that stun every 3 seconds. So increasing damage on that isn't really an option either. She's kind of right where she needs to be, to where if everyone else in the character roster was kind of balanced, she's perfect. Which is why you can't buff her, or she'll be the next Osama bin Laden, right? People are like, oh, I hate Penny, get her out of the game. She's genuinely not good. I will play Thing, and I have no fear of Penny. As long as my DPS are not stupid and shoot that nest, come on, I'll throw hands. I will throw hands with a Penny. Slam, she can't use her grapple. She can't use her grapple, I do percentage damage. She hasn't, even if she places a web at her feet, it's not enough to stop the damage I do. Vulnerability, blah, blah, blah. You run away, vulnerability to jump back to you. She can stun me, but it's really not going to help that much, because I've got multiple stuns, multiple CCs. I can always jump back to my team. And if she places the nest mid-fight, I just stand in it. The amount of healing that you get when you play Thing, if you have competent supports who know, okay, Thing kind of acts as a magnet for bullets, you kind of have to pump him with heals if he's not playing an off angle, or if multiple people look at him, you kind of just have to pump him with heals. There's nothing Penny can really do. And I'm taking 80 damage every 3 seconds. It's really not threatening in the slightest. I don't know. I'd love to hear what you guys think about it, because I love Penny. I love playing Penny, and I've been playing her more, but every time I play her more, I see the tank, and then like there's a flyer in the sky that gets rid of the Iron Man is a really good example. I'll play Penny, someone will play Iron Man. Not starting on Iron Man, they will swap to Iron Man, and it's the antithesis of everything Penny loves. Destroys the nest really easily, always far away, so that way, always just far away enough, that way you have to really try to hit Iron Man with a stun, and even then, he's far enough away that you stun him and he falls to the ground, but he's not in your nest, like, because when you stun people, you want to stun them in your nest, that way they get hit with mines and the spider bots. Doesn't do that. His right click just shreds you, way more damage than anything can keep up with, and you can't really avoid getting hit by it unless you run away. And if you run away, then the nest gets destroyed. And if the nest gets destroyed, then you lose all the burst damage potential. So things like that need to be in the game. She needs to have counters, right? But you can't buff her without making her over excel, is what I'm trying to say. And I think it's a shame, because listening to how they were talking about balance, it sounds like they are balancing based on how much fun people are having. If you're having fun on a character, it's not going to get buffed. Which I don't think they're taking into consideration, are you having fun playing against the character? Which I'm not for a lot of the characters. I don't have fun playing against Phoenix or Elsa. Hela's fine. Gambit I don't have fun playing against, because if their Gambit's better than ours, they just get to win for free. They get ult faster, they use ult, that's a free team fight. It just, I don't know, man. And then there's like other characters that I have ideas, I have really creative ideas on, like Phoenix and Mag specifically in my head right now, that I'm going to make when I feel like really passionate about it again. I'm going to wait till the patch notes for the next season drop before I think about it. But like genuinely, you could just change the way their kits work and make them much more unique, better at like what I thought they were supposed to be doing when they originally dropped, and balanced. Because I don't think it would be that hard to balance this game. Just make sure that you don't overinflate one character. And I think Penny is the perfect example of that, where it is not an overinflated character. It is everything Penny needs to be. And while it is bad, I don't know if it's bad because everything else is good. Like, Strange and Mag can just walk in and shield it, right? Is that because Strange and Mag are really good? And Emma can do it, and someone else, Hulk can do it. Mag can do it on any other tank with a bubble, whatever. But I don't know if it's because those tanks are really good, or if it's because Penny is really shit. But I do know if you buff Penny, it's like I always say with us, it's a skill sheet. You should have 10 points allocated across all these factors. And they do that when the characters launch, but then they go, oh, they're weak, so we'll add 4 points to here without taking any points away from other things. And it makes overinflated characters who are just too good. And if you buff Penny, because I think Penny is the antithesis of this, if you buff Penny, she's going to be overinflated and too good. Or if you try to buff with it while taking things away and like try and even it out, she will no longer excel at even what she excels at now, which is obviously not what they were going for. A character who is meant to lock down a point and spread the webs out to hit more people can't do that. Human Torch does it better for free with one ability. Well, I guess it's 2 abilities. But no, with his one ability, I think just the right click does it better. Genuinely. I think just the right click plays a much better game of, nah, don't stand there. Especially with the dive of him using his F, diving onto it, and then shotgunning you, or just the F itself killing you. Like, I think that is much better at it. But you can't overinflate this character. Most of the buffs you could give to her will overinflate her in any sort of category. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think today. And if you watch the video, not only tell me what you guys think, tell me if you like this suit or not. I like this one. I think this one's goated. And that's pretty much it. Do all the YouTube stuff, I don't know. 99% of my viewers are not subscribed. Wet Willy. Little.